I'd now like to introduce Carlo, who is on the Open University Business School Alumni Advisory Board, and he has supported the Alumni Association for a number of years. Carlo has worked for many years in international companies and has a lot of experience, and he'll share his experience of strategic motivation, which has helped him to improve profitability in all the companies he's worked for. So I'm now going to hand you over to Carlo, who will tell you a bit more about himself. Welcome, Carlo.
Thank you, Janet, and hi everybody from Luxembourg. As somebody might detect from my accent, I'm Italian, living in Luxembourg. I worked in a number of sectors, automotive, information technology, communication, and corporate brand building. And in the public sector, I now work for Eurostat as team leader and document management officer. I think that might be enough about me, and I would urge you to type your questions. No problem. Janet will help me interacting with you. I also have to confess that I'm not very used to this medium. I'm very happy to speak in public, but speaking to a phone handset is to 30 people is quite a new experience to me, and I find it very, very interesting, to say the least. We will briefly explore how motivation and leadership are linked to each other. And we will try together to appreciate the complexity of this subject, starting from a very simple model and then getting to increasing levels of complication, if you wish. Although this webinar is not about leadership, I do believe we need to shed light on this concept if we wish to make a difference in our organizations. So we will look at leadership as the management of meaning, as a way to spark people's motivation. You give people a meaning for what they do every day. I will be proposing you a few tools to apply these concepts in your everyday managerial practice. And yes. And to make the most of this webinar, I think it is imperative that we put to the test our own assumptions about motivation. There are many assumptions. For instance, that there is just one single recipe which works for everybody, or that money motivates people. I personally think that motivating people in itself is a wrong expression. I don't think we can motivate anybody else, as you cannot force your lawn to grow up. You can just set up the conditions for your grass to improve, and this is, if you permit me this metaphor, is the same as like with people. Motivation is often considered as action or a process in the best cases through which somebody motivates somebody else. Now, I prefer to consider that motivation is the result of understanding the characteristics that affect how people work. And the key word in this slide I'm showing you, I think is really the word influence. Influence is influencing people is not about manipulating them. It is primarily about listening to people and giving them a meaning for what they do every day, as I've just said. Now, problem is motivation is the result of the successful establishment of conditions that encourage people to put discretionary effort in what they do, so to feel motivated, as we usually say. But how? How to do that? Now, this is a very popular model. I want to show you this is the pyramid of needs. On the right-hand side of the slide, there are some examples of the most common ways organizations try to meet these needs. Now, basically, I'm not going to explain the model because it is, as I said, it is widely known. But the idea is that when somebody has satisfied the bottom of the pyramid, instinctively looks up to the next level. This model has been subject to many criticisms in the past, primarily because of lack of empirical evidence, and also because the model in itself has some assumption, is based upon a few assumptions. For instance, that somebody might be looking at all these levels in one go. So this sequence of needs is not necessarily the reality for everybody. And still, even if somebody is very happy in all the layers of the pyramid, and it has gone to the level of self-actualization because this person is given challenging job assignments, autonomy, freedom, and power. But if you reduce the salary, probably this person will not be happy. So this should already give us a notion of the complexity involved in the topic of motivation. So if we go back to the concept of leadership as management of meaning, and we try to take into consideration the complexity that we have just started to explore through the pyramid there, we see that the core challenge is to do what is actually is listed in the second point of the slide, to appreciate the dynamics of people motivation and realign our behavior as manager practitioners in order to establish the conditions for people to feel motivated. The main takeaway of this idea of leadership as management of meaning is that the good leader has people changing voluntarily their behavior in the direction she or he wants. So that is I think the point I want to stress. This list of leadership factors on which I'm going to elaborate is just a reminder to keep handy. As you see, this is not a recipe for becoming the perfect leader. But it summarizes the behaviors that research found common to people recognized as good leaders. So these 9 factors in themselves are kind of the journey to improving our own leadership skills. I promised you in the beginning I would drive you through increasing levels of complication, and now we are complicating a little bit further the notion of leadership. Some of you might be familiar with the difference between transactional leadership, where basically you increase our market share, and I will pay you bonuses at the end of the year. This is appealing to our self-interest, and it is like kind of a contract. The relationship goes on as long as both parties are satisfied with the deal. This is one way of being a leader. Another way is to be a transformational leader. The transformational leader is the one who inspires followers to do more than expected, and the transformational leaders work with the values, the preferences, and the aspiration of people. So the transformational leader tries to align the personal aspirations of people with their job, basically. We will see in a few minutes how to do that. Again, this is a quick reminder for you about the differences between transformational leadership and transactional leadership. How the transactional leader behaves normally and how the transformational leader behaves. I'm not saying that one modality is better than the other. Actually, this would be an assumption. Something that works for me might not work for somebody else, and the ability of the manager who tries to establish the conditions for people to feel motivated is to understand what kind of leadership style or managerial style works with each and every individual person. Each person is unique and requires absolute personal individualized consideration, as mentioned here. The trouble is how to choose our managerial style on a daily basis in order not to destroy people's motivation and possibly to increase it. If each and every person is unique. I can give you a model here. It is just gives us some just coordinates to choose our behavior. We might perhaps use this model as a GPS. There are two extremes, and then we find our way through. There are two extremes. On the left-hand side of the slide, you have the manager who makes the decisions and tells people what to do. So the use of authority is maximum, and the freedom for subordinates is minimal. On the other side, the other extreme is the manager who absolutely delegates. So allows to subordinates to make extensive use of their freedom within limits, well-defined limits. And in the middle, there is a wide variety of behaviors, managerial styles. Again, there is no one single way of managing appropriate for everybody. We have to choose the most appropriate for the person, for each individual. Problem is, again, we cannot decide what behavioral pattern to adopt unless we understand the expectations of each individual. In other words, we need to think in terms of psychological contract. So we have to clarify the exchange, the exchange of expectations between us and the people working with us. So the psychological contract is hard-coded in our DNA. It is formed even before somebody joins an organization. When I prepare for a recruitment interview with an organization, I'm already building my own personal feelings about this organization. I have expectations. So psychological contract is there. And there are difference between, of course, between the employment contract and the psychological contract. The employment contract does not tell much about what people actually do at work. When I sign a contract, a job contract, I don't get the tiny details, but most of all, I don't know what other people will be expecting on me every day. Or sometimes I can discover that the reality is different from what is in my job description. So this exchange of expectations has a substantial influence on behavior, and it is the real deal because it is what happens really every day at work. And just to give you a couple of examples, this is, if I perform well on this assignment, I will get a better assignment next time. This typical expectation. I might have this expectation, and this is my side of the contract. The problem is that since the psychological contract is unwritten, I have to discover as a manager what is the side of the psychological contract of each of the people working with me. And but first of all, in order to discover it, I have to establish a proper communication channel. I will be back on this in a few minutes. So this is just to summarize why these psychological contracts, these exchanges of beliefs are important. Because of course we have an impact on behaviors. If we are able to understand each other, our behavior is positively influenced at work, and it is also important because we do things as we assume that we will get something in return. After all, it's a contract, and if it works, we feel happy, and our motivation increases, and we are prepared and willing to continue. If it doesn't happen, it is really kind of, we feel kind of betrayed because our expectations were not met in the reality. And there is another reason why this notion of psychological contract and exchange of beliefs is important. And the reason is that, as I said, it's hard-coded in our brain. It applies to all kinds of relationships. So this again drives us back to this idea of listening to people. If we really want to understand what are the motivation factors for each individual person. This is just an example, it's a very standard example of exchange of beliefs between an employee and an employer. Trouble is, even if we have a good understanding of our people expectations, which is already a good result in itself, is there any way of ranking them in order of priority? If we go back to this, the famous pyramid of needs, I'm trying to... Now, the pyramid gives us a very a helicopter view on all the possible ways of meeting people's expectations. But sometimes we feel that, yes, a specific factor is very important for people, for somebody's motivation, but it is not enough, or it sounds to be enough, but then it turns out not to be. In other words, I personally believe that this model gives us kind of a two-dimension overview, and we should try to go 3D. Now, if I can get to the slide. Sorry. Yes. This is an attempt to diversify the list of motivation factors that are in the Maslow pyramid, using this Herzberg two-factor theory. This model, very briefly, this model challenges the common idea that there is a continuum between demotivation or dissatisfaction and motivation. Actually, what the model tells us is there are some factors that avoid dissatisfaction but do not generate motivation. And these are called the hygiene factors. So these are the must-have. Then there are other factors that the model calls motivation factors, that without which there is no satisfaction, with which it is most likely that we can spark motivation in people. So, of course, again, this model must be customized to the individual specific context. So the basic idea, the idea I would like to stress of this model is that there is no continuum, but we have to find for each and every person working with us who has her or his hygiene factors and motivation factors. So back to our psychological construct and exchange of beliefs. Here there is a list of the most frequent reasons for psychological contract don't work, because human resources, for instance, break the expectations of people, and I will go back on this point in a moment, or because because line management do not support effort, and that was against the expectations. People expected to get support from the line managers, but they all of a sudden discover that this is not the case. Or somebody that enthusiastically moves the goalpost, so additional demands, and you think you got the performance of out of your effort, and you discover this is not the case. Or lack of credibility of managers, for instance. Some people have a pedigree in breaching this psychological contract, betraying expectations, or organizational changes. The organization, I moved to a different department, or department changed mission statement, and I find myself doing something that was not in my expectations. So. And of course, these are the effect of breach and fulfillment, lack of discretionary effort, inefficient work behavior. On the other hand, if the psychological contract is respected, you have these extra mile behaviors. I mentioned expectations and the broken link between effort and performance, and I promised we would go back to this, and here we go. This is kind of another very popular model, the expectancy theory. Some of you again are familiar with, for sure, with this model. It is very popular. What the model tells us is that we have to be very careful not to break the link between effort and performance, and between performance and outcomes. How to avoid this, to break this link? We have to give people resources. We have to give clear goals, of course, time. We have to ensure that people have the skill set to do what they have been asked to do, and that the way their job is designed is appropriate. I will come back to this point of job design very soon. If the link between effort and performance is strong, this is likely to generate and increase motivation in people. Because of course, if I'm confident that if I do an effort, I will get the performance, then I'm likely to to invest, to engage in this, in the effort. If I don't have time or if I don't have resources to do the work, of course I don't even, perhaps I don't even try, or even if I try, I do it without enough love. The factors affecting the link between performance and outcome are also very important. Factors like the other, for instance, other departments of my company that might somehow influence the final outcome of my performance. And here is where cross-department coordination becomes important when as a motivation or demotivation factor. And another important link between outcome and the rewards that has to be perceived as fair. When I say perceived as fair, I don't mean manipulating, convincing people that the rewards are fair. What I mean is we have to give people the rewards that really count for them, that really matter. And I will be back on this with a real life example in the next few minutes. One of the topic the aspects we touched several times tonight is the salary, the pay. It is in the Maslow pyramid. Is one of the hygiene factors. It is, of course, in the expectancy theory, because one of the ways to link effort with performance and reward is money. But is really linking the money bonuses to performance, is it really a motivation factor? Now, it is assumed that yes, if you link pay to performance, you motivate people. But I would say that perhaps it works in the short term. But since it is, for most people, this is a hygiene factor, it just avoids dissatisfaction, but doesn't create motivation. And now I'm applying the Herzberg model. In the short term, perhaps. So I propose you this solution, let's say, to this aspect of complexity. It might work. It might work if the person is confident that the person will achieve a performance if she or he carries out an effort. So if the link between performance and effort and performance outcome is strong, so we are back to the expectancy theory. Because of course, if you promise fat bonuses at the end of the year, but you don't give people the tools to sell more, even if you promise the best bonuses, this will not work. So always couple performance-related pay with serious consideration of this expectancy theory link between effort and performance. And of course, you have to have reliable performance indicators. And this also is linked with the idea of which is in the expectancy theory model of the perceived fair rewards. The rewards that should not be divisive. Rewards can backfire if they are designed in a way that it's likely to disrupt this sense of belonging and teamwork. And here a couple of examples. Appraisal interviews should not be the only, or should not even be used to decide whether or not the bonus is to be given. Appraisal interviews are for something else. I think they are just only for discussing about the appropriateness of objectives and how to improve objectives and the performance next year. But this is another that would serve another webinar in itself. And of course, rewards might work if, money rewards might work if are perceived as fair by everybody. So we are back in the expectancy theory. And also, of course, money has to matter to the person as a reward or incentive. So when using performance-related pay as a motivation, as a way to motivate people or to acknowledging results, just think carefully of these aspects. Talking of job design, I said I would go back to this. Job design is one of the factors that keeps the link between efforts and performance strong. Job design is this the way the person has to perform an activity every day, and of course, it is crucial to for the quality of working life and satisfaction. So I have another model to propose you to appreciate again the complexity of job design, and this is the model in 3 steps. The model tries to explore the connection between the job dimensions, how these job dimensions are linked to the psychological state of the person and the final outcomes. So according to this model, there are 5 job dimensions. The job might require a broader or more or less broader, let's say, skill set. The tasks might be more or less relevant for the other steps of the value chain before and after the job carried out by the person. And the tasks might be more or less simple to understand, not only by the person who does them, but also for other people. A couple of examples. Task identity. I had a problem once with a person in my team working in the information technology sector. He is a software analyst, and I got increasing signs of dissatisfaction, and I found out that his problem was not salary, was not the task. The problem was that on the business card, on his business cards, the job title was senior analyst. Now, because of recent upgrades in his skill set, he wanted to be called senior architect. So for him, this aspect, task identity, strictly linked with visibility and reputation towards within and outside the company, was very important. So in this case, the core dimensions of his job had already changed, because we gave him tasks as senior architect, but this identity was not recognized, and that was very important for him. Other aspects are autonomy and feedback. So some managers find it surprisingly difficult to give feedback to the person or to acknowledge the work well done. This could be also very, very important when for some people, for most of them, I would say. Most of all, good feedback is always increasing knowledge of results of work activities to the very person who carries out that work activities. So again, there is no one single solution that works for everybody. You have to find out which job dimensions are most important for each individual. All what we said cannot work if we don't manage communication carefully. So this webinar is not about communication, but I just give you this double list as a reminder. So we have open communication behaviors and closed communication behaviors. Of course, if you adopt a closed communication behavior, you are unlikely to understand people and apply properly all these tools I have actually been talking about tonight. And I finish with another and final model. This is a real life one. I created it, so perhaps it will not be as clear as other models created by people in a better position than mine to create academic models. But the idea of this model is to measure not only the importance of each motivation factor for each individual, but also how the person perceives that the management is aware of the importance of this motivation factor for the person itself. For instance, and this is, it comes from a real-life example. This is a motivation exercise I carried out at Eurostat, European Commission. It is a francophone environment, so that's why the content is in French. Populating this model means mapping each motivation factor through a questionnaire submitted to people. They tell me they tell me out of a list of motivation factors, and of course they are free to add more if they wish, how important each motivation factor is, and how much they feel the line manager or the management is aware of that level of importance. So if, for instance, for me the money is very important, so it's high in importance, I still might have the feeling that my managers don't understand that money is important for me. So I would have high importance but low alignment with my management. And actually, in each of these four areas, you have the strategy for the managers. So whatever is in the yellow area is a quick win for me as a manager, because if I discover that for that specific person, money is very important, but I don't understand that it is, or even worse, I'm not showing that I understand, even if I do, then the quick win is just change my behavior, acknowledge that that specific motivation factor is important, and get aligned with my people. So we have to be on the same page, which is nothing else than the psychological contract I've been talking about. Now, in the next few slides, I've reported some comments we got on the questionnaire. I didn't translate them into English, but it's not really important. What is important is the takeaway on top of the slide. I try to crystallize a number of messages out of these real life questionnaires and the comments we got from people. So of course listening, and then working climate, and it is the the working climate is crucial to increase not only team spirit but also individual motivation. Some managers are not careful about how they communicate, and I'm talking not only about verbal but primarily about non-verbal communication, and not only about body language but also about the daily behavior. If people ask me to have a one-to-one conversation, and I give them I fix a meeting in 5 weeks, I'm sending out a signal anyway, I'm communicating. So, and perception can really make the difference. The link between effort, results, and rewards, this has something to do with the expectancy theory, with emphasis on fairness of rewards. This is very important. Never consider leadership as a given. Leadership is built every day, and it starts from consideration for individuals, and this is one of the points in the leadership list I showed you earlier on. And motivation is never just one. It's never just one factor. It's always a complex topic, and motivation comes from several different factors that we have to manage in one go. And if you are lucky enough that your people have company pride, sense of belonging, this is a precious asset. Don't waste it. This could be the starting point to increase and improve their motivation. I would like to close this presentation with this final concept of leadership upwards. The next 3 slides are about what happens to when we are not managers, but we are managed by somebody else. So can we be leader towards our boss? Yes, we can. And the first step is to avoid 2 typical mistakes: dependence or counter-dependence. Dependence, we become dependent when we tend to consider our boss like a kind of a god, and we tend to diminish our own skills. We tend to accept uncritically whatever the boss says or does. And the counter-dependent relationship is exactly the opposite. In principle, our boss is wrong, and we don't trust him or her whatsoever. I reported the original definition, or the original definition of consequences of counter-dependence and over-dependence is in this slide. This problem arises when we ignore that most bosses are human beings as everybody else. And if we start from this simple idea that our boss is a human being as everybody else, perhaps we can use this checklist to try to increase our knowledge and our understanding of our boss' psychological contract. So I'm not going to read the slide. I hope that this checklist is easy enough to enable everybody to increase the leadership capabilities upwards.
Thank you very much, Carlo. We've had a few questions come in, if I can ask you. Rob has asked, is a transactional leader merely a manager?
There is no one. For some people, transactional leadership works. If management is And here we go. If we consider management as stewardship and setting a direction and individualized consideration, why not? Some people like to have this kind of contractual behavior in life. I myself happened to meet people with which the only way to work was just to set up very specific goals and set up very specific rewards for those. And one typical statement by this kind of people is, "Don't hassle me with your MBA models. Just give me a goal, and if I get to the goal, you pay me a bonus. That's it."
Thank you, Carlo. Yeah, I think that answers that very well, and I do in fact know some people where I'm working here who work in that way. I also know many people who like the transformational leader and like charisma, so as you say, it's more than one answer.
Exactly.
Nicola has asked on slide 17, most frequent breach of psychological contract.
Yes.
Is it possible to have the source for this and also the expectancy theory?
Absolutely.
Expectancy. Yes. So
Janet, I will send you the source, and you will.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And also, sorry for interrupting you. There is just to give you an instant answer. I think I referenced the definition of psychological contract in slide. In slide 11, actually.
Right.
So
okay.
If you start from that, I think it's an excellent starting point.
Okay, thank you. We've also had in from Runima. Could you elaborate on the working climate? What do you mean, and what are the key factors?
Yes. Let me go back to that slide. Working climate is, and it is slide 28. Working climate is the number. Working climate is the way you feel when you walk in the office every morning. Do you feel in a friendly environment, or do you feel like you have to stay in your own bubble and possibly try to protect yourself from other people's bad behavior? And we're talking about values like team spirit. So I'm not sure I answered the question.
Well, actually, that leads on quite nicely to Michael's question. He has said this makes a lot of sense. What if you're already in a situation where motivation is being affected? What is the best way to turn things around quickly? Quite
quickly,
a big
I don't know. Quickly, I don't know. To me, it took time. When I landed in this new planet, which is the European Commission, and I found a deeply demotivated team. And the demotivation came from years of neglected improvement points in management, and there is no quick fix. What I did, first of all, I had to gain people's trust. And to gain people's trust, I had to show them and show them again that I was honestly and genuinely interested in what they do every day, and I was genuinely interested in improving their quality of life at work by changing their job design, job descriptions, better drafting their objectives. And this takes time. And there are some things that perhaps you will never solve. For instance, at the present moment, I have problems in my team. I have people who simply don't get along. In spite of all my efforts, still I cannot have a couple of persons to get along together. But at some point, this is also a fact of life. So I don't have any quick fix. My way to increase people motivation and working climate and team spirit is listening a lot and trying to reduce the friction between them by having everybody feel okay with the way their psychological contract is respected, primarily by me and then by the other members of the team.
Thank you, Carlo. Yes, I think what you said about trust is very, very important. You do need to get people to trust you and realise that you are telling the truth when you're interested in them. I think possibly communications is quite important in this fact as well, making sure you communicate well and appropriately.
It is indeed. I did not want to open that chapter because it would, of course, communication is a process, and communication is something that happens every day, every single second. But again, in communication there are no. There is not just one single solution that works for everybody. Again, each and every person is unique, and you have to adopt the communication style, modalities that fit best with this person. There are people who prefer to get an email, for instance, and then you can start in the email, you open a certain debate, and then you go face to face. Other people consider email too distant, and of course, communication is also absolutely crucial.
Thank you. We've got another question from Oliver. If people are happy with the fairness of performance-related pay within an organisation, as shown by expectancy theory, then does this go against Herzberg's view that pay is only a hygiene factor and can only lead to dissatisfaction?
Sorry, can you say it again, please?
I'll try. If people are happy with the fairness of performance-related pay within an organisation, as shown by the expectancy theory, then does this go against Herzberg's view that pay is only a hygiene factor and then it can only lead to dissatisfaction?
What the model tells us that is, for most people, pay is an hygiene factor in the sense that if it is there, which is also what in a way the pyramid tells. If here you go, pay and job security. Pay. If I get my salary, if I pocket my salary every month, I'm not dissatisfied. But I'm not necessarily motivated either by the fact that I get paid every month.
Yeah,
and if
I understand that. Yeah.
If I get used to bonuses, and I get bonuses on a regular basis, after a while, it becomes kind of a given in itself. And so at some point, the bonuses are not enough to feed motivation. That was my point.
Yeah, thank you. Karim has asked, theories are great when it comes to business and or management. Can we apply them in politics, especially when working in public sectors where profit sometimes is the ultimate goal? Or is there a different approach? I think that's one you're well equipped to answer, Carlo.
Well, yes, exactly. Now I'm trying to figure out how to be concise on this answer. At as a manager coming from the private sector, landed in the public sector, my main challenge was that in a public organization you cannot lay off people. You cannot, in most cases, you cannot move them. There is no stick and carrot mechanism. I'm not saying that stick and carrot is necessarily good, not at all. But people feel quite comfortable that they do not risk anything, and whatever they do, it will be more or less accepted. But there is one thing they do care, or most of them really care about, and this thing is feeling that the management understands them. So if you show them that, and this is what all these models can be useful for. If you show them that you really care about them, and that you set up together the objectives and the tasks, and that you listen to them on a daily basis with a view to improve their life at work as well as results, of course. To my team, this made a lot of difference. But again, I can contribute my own experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlo. I think I'm going to have to stop you there. It's a shame we've got another really interesting question come in, which I'll pass on to you privately, and maybe we could answer the person privately. But we have run out of time now. So thank you very much indeed for that very insightful presentation. I found it very interesting, and I know from the questions coming in that everybody else did too. So thank you very much, and good night to everyone.
You are very happy, and I'll be very happy to follow up on any questions privately or by email, how you wish.
Thank you very much.
Bye.